that's right. 14%? And then, so that's going to be 14% again, 14% again, roughly.
And then you have a 21%.
21 something percent?
428, yeah.
And are these really 14, real quick? Is it 0.14? Oh, you guys are like, well, 2 divided by 14 is 0.14. What? Is it 0.14? 00?
For the which one?
2 divided by 14.
It was the 1
28.
4
Here,
Yeah.
0.1429. Okay. 14.29, 14.29, 14.2. I just want to get you guys used to going out far enough and rounding. And of course, if I add these up, it should be close to 100. If I do add these up, somebody help me out. 99, right? Can't trust my brain. 100.01. I love it. Close enough. Forgot. Okay. All right, so I just want to show you a real quick example, just to solidify the idea, and to show you that if they give you classes, the idea doesn't really change. Yes? Close enough. Close enough. Yeah. Yeah. It says decipher me. Yes?
So when they give us classes, are they going to give us the set on the side?
So the book is going to give you classes. I'm going to show you how to create your own classes, because on a test and a quiz, I'm going to make you make your own classes. So eventually we're going to discover there's got to be at least 5 classes, up to 10. So if you use 4 classes, that's bad, and so forth. So we'll talk more about that when we start developing our own stuff. All right, let me see real quick if there's something else I wanted to talk about. I think that's almost it. Nothing else freaky. Oh yeah, I mean, I forgot about the cumulative frequency, but is everybody cool? What would the cumulative frequency look like? It would be 35.71. Then you would add this, and then you would add this, then you would add this, and you should end up at 100.01 at the end. So it's not a difficult idea. No. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, cool. I like it. So let's do this. That would be exceptionally. Or let me do one more example. I just can't let you have better. So we got this here. A little preview of what's ahead. So chapter 2 is called Descriptive Statistics. So chapter 2 is where we take data, the answers to a question that was asked, and we just display it. We don't really analyze it yet. Not all of chapter 2. The beginning of chapter 2 is about just displaying what you see, the data that you play. You're not calculating percentages or averages of the data itself yet. You're just showing people what you saw. So let me talk about the easiest little dude here. Stem and leaf plot, or sometimes just called stem plot, which is not nearly as interesting. It's not my own name, by the way. That's what it's called. So let's see if we can figure out the idea behind this. So I wish I would not have. Oh well, too bad, Jeff. You erased it. Let me make some more data up real quick. I like it. That's fine. So stem and leaf. Do you see how there's a bunch of things in the 40s and a bunch of things in the 50s and so forth? So the stems, my stems, would be the first digit. And then the leaves that come off of 4 would be 2, 3, 9. You guys get the idea? So 42, 43, 49, that's in there, isn't it? I like it. Now, I think you guys understand, but some of you guys have a weird look on your face because you're like, the shit does that do for me? Well, one thing is, if this was out of order, this gives you kind of a way to make it in order really quickly. That's a little lame, though. Here's a more interesting thing that you can get very quickly from this. What about 50? What will go here? 1, 4,
5.
another 4. You put repeats, because if there are like a ton of 54s, you just put 1, you're misrepresenting what you saw. Okay. 5, 7, 8, and then
1, 2.
so you see how if you look at it like this, your data seems to have a center to it. Most of the people were in what age, if that's what these are, in their 50s. Are you with me? Mm-hmm. So if there were more stems and a lot more data, you can see a lot more detail very quickly. It's like a real quick visual representation of your data. Here's where most things were. Very few things over here. It's not perfectly... Anybody know what that shape is? That shape? Bell curve. It's also called the normal curve. It's called a normal curve because heights do this. So normally people would be in here. There's a big chunk of people in here. Very few people that tall, very few people that short. So what happens normally? They're in here. So that's why that's called the normal curve. Isn't that crazy? That's one reason. So this look normal? Not really. Really roughly. It starts low, goes high, goes low again, but it's not symmetric for one thing, right? But this would be like roughly normal. It's got a center to it. It's roughly normal. So this was quick. And then I can get a lot of information about how things are distributed. Which is really a huge question in statistics. How are things distributed? How are ages distributed gives me an idea of what services that population would need. If they're distributed very heavily in the older ages, that's very different services than if they're distributed very heavily in the younger ages. Right? So I mean, that quick idea of the distribution helps me figure things out. So there is a purpose to this. Now, real quick. This is not a good enough answer, even though I seem to have stopped and not done it. Because, to be honest, I don't know how you want to do this in your notes. Figure it out. If my data would have been this, and this is like, I don't know, number of running times for a certain length. I'm in tryouts to get on my football team or something, seeing how quickly they can run. These are running times in seconds for like the whatever. This would look exactly the same. Do you guys see that? So I have to tell people how to read the chart. So I would put a little key. For the way I've got the data right now, it would be 4.2 means 4.2. This is the answer. If I say make a stem and leaf plot, you need this and this. Now, please, dear God, don't put 4.2 means 4.2. 4.3 means 4.3. 4.9 means 4. And all the way. I've had people do it like that. Kind of defeats the purpose. Right? It's like a scale on a map. You do it once. You don't say, well, this is this much, and this is this much, and this is holy shit. It's got too much shit on that map. How are you going to? So for the way I had it before, it would be 4.2 means 42. So that's why if you leave the key off, you will lose points, because then it's not complete. I don't know how to read it. Okay, I think that's enough. So let's do this. I'm going to take you on a quick little, I call it a field trip, but it sounds like it's going to be more exciting than it is. We're going to just go see real quick where the mass studies center is, where the cheering center is. I'll point out where my office is, and then you guys are free to go wherever you want to after that. So if you could, head out that way. Start going this way really slowly. Wait for me to run out in front of you.